Welcome back to another English couple with the lovely Julia.
And the lovely Richard.
And this time we thought we would talk about traditional games and getting through Christmas without the screens and the media and all the apps, the television, the radio, and that sort of thing.
Technology then.
Yeah, technology basically. So old-fashioned stuff. Now, you may do this. You may be one of those people, because every now and again you'll see an article where people will say, do you know what, at Christmas time we get rid of all the media, all the phones go in a drawer, the television goes in the skip, the radio is hoisted out and thrown into the back garden.
The brand new television stays in its box until the end of the day.
Exactly. And that when the family comes round, you get together and you do stuff. Or if you're on your own as a couple, what sort of things do you do that makes the Christmas perhaps just different from a weekend or other times when you're together, I suppose.
What do you do to make Christmas Christmassy?
Yes. And of course, games is one of those things. And we've got, now this is a game, what's it called?
This is quite a classic now.
Yes.
I think it originally came out in the 80s. Don't quote me on that, I haven't looked into it. But this is Kerplunk.
Kerplunk.
So called because obviously you pull out, if you haven't ever played this, you pull out the
well, we're going to play
sticks.
Kerplunk as we chat about this. So I understand in the rules, you've got all these sticks coming into this device. There's a load of marbles in there, and you've got to pull them out, and the person with the least balls wins. Is that right?
Yeah, I win.
Okay. Well, we haven't started yet. So you pick a colour.
No, it doesn't matter. Any
No,
colour.
it did say there you had to pick a colour in the instructions.
It said it doesn't matter what colour. I'm sure it said.
No, it did say that. So this is one of the things that can happen with board games and games is you argue about the rules. And that's probably, when you've got a passive thing like a television, you're all passively watching it.
Choose any stick of either colour.
Yes.
And then gently pull it out and place it on the table.
I see.
But once you've touched the stick,
all right, fair enough.
you have to pull that
stick.
There you
go. Thank God we've got the rules. I got it wrong.
See, Julia's not always wrong.
No, I didn't say you were.
No.
See, already, fisticuffs are out. You've seen argumentative baking. Now you're going to see aggressive game playing. So, pick a colour, any colour then. Pick a stick, I suppose.
I'm going to be number 4.
Right.
So you have to turn it to the big window, coming down. I'm going to go try and be safe. Once you've picked one, you have to go for it. Oh.
And you already got...
my first ball.
Your first ball, there we go. So that's not a good thing, is it? It's not the amount of balls
No. You
so
want as few as possible.
Other games that one could play could be things like, in my day, is Ludo.
Yes.
Which was, it's a classic, isn't it, Ludo?
Yep.
Snakes and Ladders.
Yep. Used to love that one.
That was great. And sometimes, when I was a kid, used to make them up yourself. If you didn't have the things, Snakes and Ladders, it was quite fun to make a grid, draw a grid, and then do some ladders and do some snakes. Mm-hmm. And inevitably in mine, I can't remember now whether I did more ladders or more snakes. Mm-hmm. But I used to love making games. It was very creative. Did you do that?
I did. There are a couple of different games you can play on paper, like noughts and crosses.
Oh, yes.
And there's another one that my nan taught me, where you draw a load of dots, basically, evenly apart.
Oh, I know.
And then you have to, one by one, you draw a line between two
boxes. Yeah. And you end up making boxes.
It can only be up, or horizontal or...
And yes.
Vertical or horizontal.
I can't remember whether it was the amount of boxes that you get. You colour them in when you win them. That's right. Yes, you'll go.
My go.
Yeah, you'll go.
Eeny, meeny, miny.
So far.
You don't forget to turn the thingy to your...
Oh, yes, that's true, yes. I was about to turn that so that the ball falls down into my thing.
Your thing.
Not that I will get a ball, look at that.
Of course not.
There's more classic games like chess. Do you play chess? Strategic games?
I've played with the board, but I've never actually played it. I need to be taught how to play, actually.
Oh, okay. And drafts?
There's no draft
and checkers, isn't there? There's checkers. Yeah. I think is drafts and checkers the same thing? I can never quite remember.
I've played solitaire.
Okay.
Both the little wooden board game and the card solitaire.
Now, my ex...
Actual card, not just on the computer.
My married ex used to play solitaire. When I got a computer, and the kids were... It's your go, by the way.
Thank you.
She would... my kids would want all these games. Oh, 2 balls to nil. Nil, by the way, is the place you want to be.
Yes.
In this, like, not like the European Song Contest thing, whatever it's called, where you don't want nil point.
You don't want nil point.
Yeah, so so the kids would want all these games on the computer, but she was quite happy because Solitaire came with the computer, didn't it? It was part of the Windows, I think, and so she would sit on there for hours. It was great.
Solitaire and Minecraft, I used to love both of those. But then I started playing World of Warcraft, which...
Why?
Because it's very addictive.
Oh, okay.
Very addictive. There have been... oops, I better turn that first. There have been clinics specifically for people recovering from World of Warcraft addiction.
So this is why, having a screen-free Christmas is clearly a good idea. Dominoes. Do you play dominoes?
Dominoes. I love playing dominoes, yes.
Because the great thing is not only can you play with the dominoes, but you used to set them up. Did you not set them up like that and then you knock one
Absolutely.
and they go...
Absolutely. Make a little course for it.
And I think there are videos on YouTube, isn't there?
You've got to have several boxes of them to be able to do that properly.
There's videos on YouTube where they do these amazing things. Is it my go?
Yeah, really complex and
I'm going to get that one.
Dramatic ones.
It's your go.
I'm not happy about this so
No,
far.
I can see that. Other games, not so much board games, but we used to play things like charades. That was a great family game. Now, you couldn't really do that as a couple, although you could do.
You could, yeah. I was never really into charades because, well, I suppose as a kid I was quite quiet-spoken.
Were you?
And I didn't like getting up in front of people.
I suppose you've got to have a bit of an ego, haven't you? Just sort of get up and go, I don't know. Singing in the rain.
Stage fright, even in front of your family, is debilitating.
Yes, I think it's easier to perform in front of complete strangers sometimes than in front of your own family, because they'll remember that and be with you for most of your life and then go, do you remember that time when? Yes, all right, Mum. Forget that. Is it my go?
Yeah.
So what other sort of games? Consequences was another one with a bit of paper. You used to go around. Did you do that?
No.
And you would tell. There was a format to it that you would say the name. You would write a name. You'd pass the paper around. Then the next person would write a name. And it was usually with the kids. They loved it because they would do their own name. Go Stanley, and then you'd pass it to George. So it would be like. So you'd write these things. Where it was so hang on
I've got this,
yes I know I'm just trying to remember the game. So it's a name and then another name and then it's a place and then something that happened and then you anyway you go through this format which I can't remember. No, it's not. It's very easy. Once you've got the format, everybody writes it and then you read out what's on it, and so it would end up being going, Fred fell in love with John at Windsor Palace. And did such and
so you end up with this massive weird story.
Yes, this weird story which follows, And
I've never heard it called Consequences before.
Oh, wait a minute! That's not supposed to happen.
Really?
Yeah. So you've got 2 now, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh.
Yeah, but there's plenty in there.
There is still plenty more for me to
cock it up.
For now.
That's not so fair, is it?
Oh, really?
No.
Something I used to play with the family, and my brothers, and my friends actually, was called Frustration. It was
Frustration. That's another game, board game?
Yeah, another board game where you've got 4 little pegs.
Yeah.
You've got this bubble in the middle with a dice in,
I
and
remember
it clicks. I used
dice.
to love it. Yes.
Your go, by the way.
Yes.
Memory games. They were sort of old.
Oh, yes, with pieces of card with all the pictures of random things on them. You turn them all over.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking more like the old-fashioned parlour game. You'd come in with a tray.
Oh, yes.
And you'd have a tea towel over the top and a number of items from the kitchen or whatever. Because it was always, these were sort of the games that Granny would come in and go, right, we're going to play these old-fashioned games. And so you would do that. And then she would take that off and you'd have a minute to try and
memorise everything.
10 objects that were on the tray, salt cellar and piece of bread, a dead rat, whatever it was. And and then they put that back and then you had to remember it. And that was, just good fun in that environment.
Another one.
Doesn't feel like fun though. Oh no.
One more to add
This is a little
to your
unfair.
collection.
I had a bit of bad luck early on there.
You had a bit of good luck early on, you mean? Well, at this point, it's just pot luck as to
Oh, is there
They're-
strategy in
no,
this?
well, they're
Why
all,
are you turning that back towards me? That's not fair.
I was just turning it. Yeah, no, I forgot that bit. I'll turn it that way.
See, cheats.
I was selecting.
Yeah, I'd call that cheating.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
We'll see who cheats.
yeah, exactly. So the game is about getting as many of these balls, not the least, because there's no way I can win now. There's not enough balls
No,
in there.
no, there is no way that you can win, unfortunately.
So I don't really care.
Another game we used to play at home with family
Yeah.
and with friends at school would be the name game of picking a person from history or
Oh,
from a
what?
certain
Sticking it on their
genre
back?
and have it on the
Oh, on their
forehead, and then
forehead.
that person
Had to guess.
has to ask yes or no questions,
Oh yes,
and
that's
then
a
you've
good game.
got to guess who you are.
Yeah, that is a great game.
There, hate to say, there is a similar. Oh, is
You've
it?
got to turn it to you.
It's my turn. There's a similar game using mobile phones.
Is there?
Yeah, but it's got all sorts of different genres and stuff, and what animal you have to guess the animal.
Because one of those things is that
Things like
you sometimes you don't know the name, do you? You've got to guess who you are. And if it's somebody you've never heard of and someone's been very clever and said, oh, you're the Ayatollah so-and-so, and you go, oh, I have no idea.
Well,
Don't
that
know.
was unfair.
Yeah, and then it would then again you get the argument starting, which we always love a good argument. Is it your go again? Do you get 2 goes? No. I've got no space left on mine.
Okay, well let's extend you to number 2 then.
Oh, I've been extended. Wait a minute, here we go. This one, I'm bound to.
Drop all 4 of those ones.
God. Yeah. Some games. Now, here's another story for you. My ex used to be very good at pool.
I like playing pool.
And if you're lucky enough to have a pool table and things, we didn't have a pool table. I might as well just finish this now. I'm going to go around to number 3. There we go. That's them all. So how many did you get in the end? 4.
4.
And I had the rest,
Yeah.
which was copious amounts, which
Yeah.
was far too much. Yes, she was very good at pool. And when we were courting, if you're allowed to say courting these days,
Why wouldn't you?
I
be
don't.
allowed
It's
to
an
say that?
old-fashioned term. When you were going out, when you were stepping out, whatever it is that you do when with people in
First started going out. Yeah.
Yes. We would
Dating,
go
here's another one.
dating. Yeah. We would go to a place where they had a pool table, and it's one of those games. It's a game that I'd suggest nobody ever plays with somebody who's better than them if you're in a relationship, because what tended
Not
to
unless
happen.
they're a good sport.
Yes, unless they're a good sport. Well, the object is to win. So we would break the thing, whatever you call it, and then when it was her go, because she was good at it, it would be ball in there, ball in there, ball in there, ball in there, ball in there. I win, and I've had
Where's the fun in that?
yeah, one go. And this was repeated. She says, well, you can go first. Okay, I break the thing. That's her go. Bang, 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 bang.
Yeah, you might as well not play then. She might as well play on her own.
I know, and
You
in
set
the
it
end
up
I
and just
said,
dong,
look,
dong.
I'm sorry, I can't play this with you. This is a game we can't do as a couple because... then I said, you could at least let me have a go. And she was like, well, what's the point then? If I'm not going to use my skills to do... And I suppose in that... We were just unfairly matched.
Yeah.
And so
No,
in the
I
end,
mean-
she would play other people and I wouldn't play.
No, I mean, if you want to be competitive about it, join a competition. That's what I'd
Yes.
say.
Yeah.
Because, when I go and play pool, with my friends, it's not about winning. Yes, it's fun to win, but it's about the learning, the process, it's about just spending time together.
And so
And
these-
I like to, if I'm happen to be better than the other person, I'll ease
them
off
win a bit, yeah.
or give them some hints and tips if they want it.
Yes. Because you're never going to get better if you
No.
never get to go
Exactly.
and do it, because the other person is
So if you
always...
train them up, you might actually have a good competition, a friendly competition at the end of it.
So sometimes those competitive games can break out into arguments, of course, and you have hard losers or enthusiastic winners, and so that's not always a good thing, So sometimes then you think, hang on, just sticking the kids in front of the telly is probably the best thing because they're quiet and they're just watching the telly, but that's not what it's about. Life skills is about being a loser or being a winner occasionally. Nobody likes the winner to win all the time because
No,
then
no.
you just feel, what's the point?
Yeah, it loses its. No one benefits from that
So other things,
unless it's an actual competition.
yes, of course, but we're just talking about over Christmas. It's not a
exactly.
competition at Christmas,
No,
is it?
no.
Another game that we used to play when I was a kid called Hunt the Thimble.
Oh yeah.
which was great. So you'd have a thimble, because in those days
Yeah, plenty of them.
people did darn their socks or mend things, and they'd use a thimble if they were sewing and that sort of thing. So you'd get the thimble out the sewing box, which I imagine a lot of kids these days have no idea what a thimble is, because so many people no longer make anything and they just buy it, and if it's got a rip in it they throw it away, which is terrible. And you'd get the thimble and then you would hide it. But I suppose you could hide anything, of course. It could be a £10 note or a 10 shilling note or whatever it was. And you go around, and then whoever finds the thimble. Now, I can't remember whether that's one of those ones that you go, no, you're hot, no, you're cold, no, you're getting hotter, no, you're getting colder. Do you do that?
Oh, yeah, I used to play that sort of thing, yeah.
That sort of thing, yeah. It's just a...
I never knew it came from the Hunt the Thimble sort
Well,
of
I don't
thing.
know whether that is from Hunt the Thimble, but it would be, otherwise, because a thimble being so small, you could hide it in some houses. Like my house, you could hide it, you'd never bloody find
Anywhere.
it. Even the things that, you put down a mug, and sometimes you go, where's
You could
where's
be
my
an inch
tea
from
room?
it and you wouldn't know where it is.
Where's what?
You could be an inch from the thimble
Yes.
and still not know where it
And
is.
not, so you kind of do need those sort of hints and tips to help you. And the whole point of playing is that it's in the name there, playing. It's play.
That's right.
It's not too challenging that it's going to hurt
It's
you.
not the Olympics.
No, exactly. That's the whole point. More passive thing is, of course, jigsaw puzzles.
I love a good jigsaw puzzle. Absolutely love it.
And they can be very absorbing, can't they? You sit down round a table. If you've got a big enough table for one of these 5,000 or 50,000, and then you challenge yourself on some that's got more sky than others.
It just reminded me, I used to spend some Christmas days doing jigsaws with my granddad.
And trying to find all the edge pieces.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the cliche thing is you get to the end and there's a piece missing. And it's the vital thing. It's the
Pièce de résistance.
yes, whatever it is. I always think of
The keystone, maybe.
the Laurel and Hardy one, Me and My Pal, 1930 something or other, in which Oliver Hardy's trying to get married,
Oh, yeah.
and they're waiting for the I think they're waiting for the taxi to arrive, and in their waiting for the taxi, Stan gets a jigsaw puzzle on the go, and it becomes so absorbing on this jigsaw, but they're trying to get out the door, and suddenly, oh, wait a minute, there's another. And so, no, for goodness sake, come on, we're going. And it's an absolute hilarious. Me and My Pal, it's called. And the last piece I always remember is an Indian chief, or a Native American, as you would say in these days, with the whole headdress, and the piece is missing. And then later on, when everything's gone pear-shaped, it's found right at the end, and so they start the jigsaw again. It's hilarious. But they are great fun, and it's funny how they sort of come out at that time in the winter when you're hunkering down by the fire. Absolutely perfect.
Well, there's less to do. Traditionally, there was less to do in the winter, wasn't there?
Yes,
So-
that's true. And of course, there'll be millions of other games, and I'm sure you've played games. There's all these sort of modern war games, and there's a
Oh
whole
yeah,
load
battleships. I nearly picked up a battleships.
of... Oh,
but
battleships.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes, I forgot about battleships. Yes, that was
It
a
never
good one.
really appealed to me, that one.
No.
I
well,
like it, I'll play it, but
So if you've got games that you used to play, particularly games that aren't commercialised, we've been playing, this one that's commercialised that you buy, but very much interested in games that you can make yourself. Card games, of course, is a great one. And there's copious different card games. The cliche, of course, is Monopoly, where the family get round. But in my family, somebody would go, shall we play Monopoly? And there would be this mad groan, because you knew that it was, in order to play it properly, you're going to be on an hour or 2 hours.
Yeah.
And it's...
it can be a long haul saga, can't it?
Especially if you're the parent trying to get the rest of the Christmas together with the turkey and all the other things, and it's like, no, I just don't have the time. Oh, I thought Christmas was for us. Shut up.
Yeah, but you want to eat today, don't you?
Yeah, you don't want to starve. So we'd be interested to learn about any other games, any old parlour games, any things that you used to play, even those old sort of, what was that with the cone and the ball that you used to do?
Oh yes, the ball and cup.
Ball and cup. And what was the one?
Oh,
that
a
used
stick and hoop.
a stick and hoop and the Jack's 5.
Oh
was
yes,
it?
that's right. Yeah.
Those old-fashioned games. Love to learn.
Tiddlywinks.
Tiddlywinks. Yes, there you go. You were just writing that down, weren't you, in the comments?
Even marbles themselves.
Yes, marbles on their own.
Mousetrap.
Oh,
We
yes.
talked about a film called was it a film or a stage show called Mousetrap the other?
Yes,
yeah,
the Mousetrap, the
David.
Whodunit
That's
by
right, but
Agatha Christie.
That was also a very interesting game.
Oh yes, with the little cage. That
Took a
would...
while to set up, but it was always fun when that cage came rattling down in the end.
So let us know what your games are and what you will be doing this Christmas. No doubt be a few drinking games, I'm sure, in there as well. And we will see you next time. Thank you, Julia, and well done. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You see,
Hardly the big feat.
little
but,
bit
you
of
know,
sportsmanship there.
you'll win next time, I'm sure.
Thank you. Till next time.
Bye for now.